Hi, this is Judy Stutes. I'm from Springboro, Ohio, and I'm here to present on the Big J's Ultra Cycling Challenge. I was fortunate enough to be able to take part in a race this year. There haven't been many races with the current COVID situation and challenges, so a lot of races have been canceled. But this year, Big J's decided to go ahead and hold their Ultra Cycling Challenge, which consisted of a 6-hour and a 12-hour race. It was pretty cool. I mean, they did have to make some adjustments this year, and they ended changing the date to July 18th, 2020 in Mohammed, Illinois. They changed the race to start on private property, which kind of eliminated some requirements. They requested social distancing. They provided alcohol hand gel. It was a no contact in the sense of you really didn't have a race packet. You didn't have to touch anybody. You didn't have to sign. You just signed a piece of paper of your name, the waiver, and you were good to roll. So it was pretty cool. They had about 60 racers, and that is typical for Big J's Challenge. Usually they have about 60, and they usually have a big cookout afterwards, which this year they were unable to do. So that kind of changed it up a little bit, but it is a self-supported race, so there's really no SAG. I took part in the 12-hour race. Thursday night, I got a message from a friend and said, hey, 12-hour race in Illinois, are you in? And who can say no to that? So basically, I thought about it. Friday morning, went to work, got home, packed, left for Illinois. It was a warm one. I had 20 bottles pre-made with Infinite and water and just a big cooler of ice. I personally took my TT bike. So I thought it was pretty flat course is what it looked like. And they had a kind of a change in the course as well because we changed the start and finish. Ended up being a 24.7 mile loop course. Again, fairly flat, mostly country roads, but there were some sections that did go through town, so we had a little stoplight to stop at. I personally started kind of more in the back, and I thought that would be a good strategy for me. It didn't really work out well because as soon as we started, I just found that I needed to kind of pick it up a little bit more. So my friend who was also there, his name is Steve, and I bring him up just because he's the one that got me there, so I'm very thankful for that. He also had a friend, Tom Buckley. Tom has finished RAM solo a couple times, so it was kind of cool to meet so many ultra racers that I want to meet. I mean, I love this community, and I found such a passion for ultra cycling, and to meet others who've already done so many grand things. It's kind of cool to hear their experiences and hear them talk about just the challenges, but their love, their passion. The host, which is Jay Yost, Jay also has been on a 2-man RAM team, and he has been successful. And so for him to continue to host this race year after year and to help support the cycling community is pretty cool. I decided initially to race and just do 2 laps, stop at my aid station, refuel, 2 laps, and stop. By the 4th lap, I went ahead and it was getting closer to noon, and I figured it was getting way too hot to just go every 2 laps. So I decided to stop every lap, and that proved to be a good decision. I finished the 6th lap, and I was just, from then on, it was like just totally solo. I didn't see really anybody else on the course. And when I would roll into the aid station that we had made, you could just see everybody was just kind of, it looked like carnage. The heat had really overtaken a lot of people. Jay came over to me and said, hey, how you doing? And I said, I'm doing great, trying to get my drinks and try to get my food. And he said, you're in first place. And I was like, oh man, don't tell me that. I don't want to hear that. This is supposed to be a fun day. It's not supposed to be a race for me. And he says, no, not first female. You're first overall. I was like, oh, that's even worse. That's pressure. I don't want pressure. So hearing that, I was just like, oh man. So I just got back on the bike and I just decided, ride it out. Just keep riding. Don't worry about it. And that's all I did. I mean, I just had a really fun time. I mean, being out there, it was just a new experience. I was somewhere that I hadn't planned to be, doing something I hadn't planned to do. And it's like, this is it. This is life. I was fortunate to be there. And it's something that I'm learning every time. Every time there's a race or an event or just even a ride. I mean, we are so blessed to be able to do this. And I'm taking away something every time. I slid through the gravel area on my bike, and I slid through it so much that I actually went into like a grass culvert. And I shouted out, "Dag nabbit!" And I didn't think anybody was there. And I got back on my bike and I looked up, and across the street at the four-way stop was a gentleman off his bike. And I didn't know if he had wrecked or what was going on, but he was kind of hunched over. And I went over to him. He was kind of crouched down like in the shade. And I asked him if he was okay. And he said he was. And I said, we've got this much left. I mean, it was the final hour. I said, let's do this. And I said, can you get back on? And he said, I can. And I said, let's do it. His name was Lloyd. And I was so thankful to meet him. It was a blessing to hear his story, that this was his longest ride ever. And he wasn't feeling well, and he made that known. I mean, he really said he was hurting. And I thought about it and thought, it's so cool to see you can go 250 miles, you can go 100 miles. We all push ourselves and we're all suffering, but we're all doing it together. I ended up finishing with 218 plus miles, and it's not a lot considering for a 12-hour race, but considering the heat and where we were with everything, where I was personally with everything, I was thankful to finish with that. But what was even more exciting for me was to see Lloyd and others to PR. I mean, there were so many people that this was their longest race or their longest ride or their best performance. And it's like, to take that away, that's my takeaway, is that to share with people, to experience their success. And I was thrilled. So that was pretty cool. The coolest part with this race is that it's not, it's free. It's, they do have a charity, and the charity is for the people of Nepal. And this was their 12th year of the race. And they raise funds as donations. And so you contribute really what you want to, contribute. So you decide, and it's one of those things, if you're paying $100 for a race, why not donate it? And I think this is a fabulous idea. So that was kind of cool. The trophy that the winner gets is they present one trophy for the overall winner. And this year it just happened to be me, which is the first time they've ever had a female winner. It was the first time they've had a 6-hour female winner. So the females kind of rocked the course this year. But the trophy is actually we'll call it a big butt seat. It is a bicycle seat that's very big, and it's called the Big Butt Award. And you can figure what the butt is actually, it is. And it's the traveling trophy. So I get to sign that, and then next year I get to hand it off to the next winner. I hope other people look into Big J's Ultra Cycling Challenge for 2021. And it's just very low key. Like I said, self-supported, but it's relaxed. And the people who are there, the volunteers, are from the Rotary Club. So they do a great job. And this is Judy Stutes reporting for the Ohio Ram Show.
This is Gregory Zuber, thanking you for watching and sharing.
Music